you keep paying into it, you keep paying into it, you keep paying into it, and you could be the safest person ever and never need that insurance. Right? It doesn't pay you out unless something bad happens. Well, safety, you will never really know if it's working, because the only time that you will find out that it hasn't worked is when you're in the middle of being attacked.
That's right.
Until you become a victim, you don't know that what you were doing was actually helpful or not helpful. Ignorance in this case is going to be bliss, because it means you did all the things you needed to, and you never had to find out if those creepy guys over there were going to attack you or do something to you, or if that random person that just came out of nowhere was going to be an attacker, because you avoided everything prior to it ever getting to that point. And then that's the secret that a lot of people don't really tell you, is that safety is not knowing. Because if you find out, it means that you're in the middle of it, and it's way too late to get.
And that also then brings up another point of, that's, awareness of your surroundings. Then there's also situational awareness.
Okay.
You see something, you're walking by, and you see some guy dragging his kid along. The kid is fighting the guy. Do you just think, well, that's his daughter, she doesn't want to go to school? Or could it be a kidnapping? An abduction?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
the situation says, that looks kind of odd.
Yeah.
That kid is fighting really heavily. The dad is not saying anything about little, Brittany, come here.
Right.
Yeah.
And, says, oh, get away. Maybe you might want to pay attention a little longer and wait to see this. I don't know this man, help.
Yeah.
Then that situation became something totally different.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to the polyclass case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone just told me, not too long ago, about a couple of days ago, that they actually got stopped. Like, she was in the passenger seat, he was in the driver's seat, cops saw him and didn't even do anything. Just he stopped him and just let him go. So
Wow.
yeah. So there was an opportunity for her to yell, but she didn't.
Yeah.
If she would have known that, if we would have taught the kid that at a younger age, yell or say something, that would have saved her life.
Yeah, situational awareness just becomes as important as being aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, right.
Because if it looks weird, there must be something weird.
Yeah.
It's
It's better to come off as rude and intrusive.
Yeah. Right.
And be like, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I misunderstood the situation. That's your child. Versus find out later, oh, this child has been missing for 6 months.
Oh,
and
I just saw that.
Oh, wow, I just saw that person.
Kid. Yeah.
It's not an ideal thing. And honestly, the way our culture is, we feel uncomfortable doing these things.
And the crazy thing is, you're probably going to get 10 or 20 of them wrong. But that one that you got right, you just saved a little girl from being kidnapped or an elderly getting hurt.
Right.
So these are the things that you start to wonder about and say, oh, I could have helped. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry,
she's actually working.
Business.
She's actually,
like we said, she works in this gym. She's one of the personal trainers. So
so come down if you ever need a personal trainer.
Oh yeah, Dion is great.
We're gonna let her do a shameless plug, just so she can buy me lunch next time I give her a free lesson.
It hasn't happened yet, so
that's why. So please call her.
No, seriously, we're letting people know that you are a personal trainer here at the gym, and you're not just a pretty face that we invited to, make us look better.
Yeah. But we are ugly. Yeah, but they are ugly. So, folks, again, the things that we're sharing you, these are the things that are going to be brought up at these seminars that we hope you take full advantage of. Because, again, they are free.
Yes.
Nothing is better than free. Free.
Well, free food is better than
free
anything
food.
else free.
There you go.
Just saying.
Right?
Just saying.
What else we got on our thing there?
Oh, so it talks about situational awareness. We did confirm that that's when spatial awareness, knowing your surroundings, but also understanding the legal aspects of what's going on.
The legalese, is, as they say. Folks, when something happens or something is about to happen, first thing a lot of people do, and this really upsets me a lot, I was going to use a derogatory word, but I won't. I'm trying to stay calm.
There's a lady present.
Yeah, but it ticks me off to no end. The first thing people do is they pull out their cell phone and they just record.
Yeah.
They don't go in and help the victim who's being slapped around, beat up, kicked, or whatever. We heard that news just recently last week, where a lady was getting beat up in front of a hotel. And the security guys just closed the door and didn't do anything. You know, yeah, and they've been suspended, thank goodness, because what a bunch of idiots.
I was like,
That's crazy.
Yeah,
it's March Madness. They were watching the game.
yeah, it was, folks, when you see something,
no excuse.
say something, do something, put down the damn phone.
Well, that's exactly what Dion was just saying. If we teach our children to actually speak out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, and I think this is in the Asian community too, because I know it is in the Hispanic community, children are often brought up to believe that they need to be seen and not heard.
Yes,
Right.
that's so true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
quiet,
Shut up.
Yeah, shut up.
Be quiet.
Yeah, you
Sit
say
there.
something and you get smacked, and then you don't say anything.
So you don't. But and I think that's true to an extent in the Asian community as well, where we're not taught to do those things. So when you become an elderly in that culture, how likely are you going to be to say, "Hey, I just got mugged"? Leanna's mom.
Leanna's mom last week when we had their interview. Very much.
She got mugged 3 times, and it wasn't until the 3rd time
when she had a busted lip
and that
and
her
a bruise on her
daughter
head.
bothered her for I don't know how long
What
that
the
she
hell
finally
happened to you?
said something.
Yeah. That crazy? So I remember a funny story that you guys will think is hilarious. So I'm in my house, and at the time I was living in a house where we're just right off the street. So the window, there's a street there, right? And I'm on my computer just doing whatever I do on the computer. My dog goes crazy, Yoda, right? He's barking like nuts. He's at the window barking, going crazy. I'm ignoring him, right? Half hour later, I go out the car to get something. Somebody had broken into my car. My dog was telling me, "Dad, somebody's getting in the car. Hey, look."
We ignore the animals. We ignore the animals.
I mean, my car was
More than the kids.
Somebody broke into my car. My dog is telling me, and I just ignore him like, stop, Yoda, be quiet, shut up. As crazy as that sounds, when you hear your kids screaming and yelling, maybe take the time. Listen, what's going on? Why are you yelling? What is it?
Wow.
They took my tools, my weapons. I was so mad. I had a bag full of gear.
His training tools.
My dog was trying to help me. He said, "All right, fine. I'm not going to help you anymore."
He gave up. He just walked away like,
he just,
"Screw
okay.
you then."
I tried to tell you.
Wow.
Yeah, it was funny, but it was.
It's a wake up call.
Yeah, and you realize,
big time.
when your car alarm goes off, most people don't do anything about it.
Right.
No, they just look for the keys and like.
That's true.
If they even do that.
If they, it's somebody else's car.
Yeah.
No, it is yours.
And this brings up a thing. I was at an organization yesterday with a group from United Peace Collaboration, right? Collaborative. And Leanne, thank you so much for inviting me over there. And I joined their protest. I walked around with them. What they did was they would patrol the Chinatown up and down the streets, right? And I talked to them. We had this device that I was telling them about. When you pull on the keychain, it makes noise, right? A very sharp noise, really cool, right? And she said, "Well, yeah, we did a test like that over here. We pulled it, and nobody, it was more of an annoyance, than it was anything else.
Yes.
Nobody came to help with anything. Nobody even bothered to look." And I told her, "Well, here's the reason. Because once you pull that, you got to scream and yell about what's going on. If you're just having that thing ring off, just like your car alarm, when it goes off, you don't bother to look. Nobody in the neighborhood looks because they just say, it's freaking cars. It's the alarm."
Yeah.
It would make more sense then to make one of those that says free giveaway.
Yeah, free beer!
Something, right? Like it breaks and says free giveaway, free food,
That'll
free
catch someone's
something.
attention.
Because then people will be like, what?
Yeah,
What?
exactly.
Free what?
Well, because isn't even in rape prevention, they say don't scream rape.
Right, yeah. Because
scream fire. Because
Fire.
that will attract
Exactly.
people. Fire, what's burning?
Yeah, and that's why I say when you take these devices, understand that the device itself is not
Half.
is only half of what needs to be done. You have to yell loud. You have to do something to get the attention of people and let them see that, it's not just an alarm going off. Somebody's in danger or something is happening. So she didn't realize that. She says, "Oh, those are no good because."
Right.
No, they are good. but you have to know and understand how to use them properly.
It's how to use the tool versus
Yeah.
the tool itself, and it starts with a proper mindset. And going back to what we were talking about, the awareness is, finding out in your area what are the legal actions that you could take
Right.
and not take, because
What is self-defense?
there is a difference.
There's a line.
Yeah. Somebody attacks you with a knife, you happen to wrestle it away and stab them 12 times. At what point were you safe?
Yeah.
I mean, that's an
How many
extreme
stabs
situation,
in? How many
right?
stabs in were you think you were going to be okay at 30 or 31?
Crazy.
But again, because the thing about situations like that is that they're heightened senses of fear that are running through your brain. Cortisol
Right.
is pumping into your brain to let you physically act, but the cognitive function kind of goes down. So you become dumber in a sense, or
Yeah.
blinded, tunnel vision. You're so focused on surviving that you don't think of anything else, and then you come to, you relax, you're trembling, and you realize, oh, I just did something horrible.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
And that also goes to, I hear a lot of stories where it's, oh yeah, I bought some mace, or I bought a taser, and I'm going to be so safe, nobody's going to mess with me. And you know how I feel about those two things. Yeah. I would never recommend people use mace unless they are fully trained and practice it on a regular basis, because, in the panic, like you said, when that cortisol starts to go in your head, a lot of your bodily functions stop.
Yeah.
Just to allow you to just do all the basics of either
That's why we
fight or
get
flight.
clammy hands.
Yeah, and you get
start
all nervous
sweating.
and everything else
Yeah.
because you don't think straight. Your first thought is either run
Yeah.
or just start swinging your arms.
And occasionally freeze.
Yeah, and freeze a lot of times, right? So you have to learn, folks, that those things that you bring to the fight can then be taken from you and used on you. How many stories have we heard where they had a knife fight and the guy got stabbed with his own knife?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we hear that story all the time, being martial artists that we are.
I've seen several videos of people dying from their own knife.
Yeah, so, be careful that if you're
Scary.
going to use those things and you're bringing an outside item, that you know how to use it, because you would never want to get pepper sprayed by your own pepper spray.
Yeah.
Right.
First of all, it's a bad story to tell your friends. It's embarrassing.
How'd you get beat up? Oh, they pepper sprayed me.
Are you guys talking about spraying yourself?
Yeah.
Well, spraying
Or they
yourself, or
take it
taking
from you
away, spraying you.
and spray you with your own spray.
Right.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
suck.
Yeah.
If you consider the idea of the person that's attacking you being somebody that's done something similar before, they're a lot more comfortable doing what they're doing than you are being the victim.
Yeah.
And
that's a good
because
point.
of that,
Yeah.
their brain is functioning on a different level than yours.
Yeah, they're much more cognizant of what's going on.
They're
'Cause they're
aware
used
of
to
what's
doing
going
that
on.
thing.
They're the one
Exactly.
doing it.
Sure, they may get a rush of excitement
Right,
because of it,
right.
But that's what they're there for.
But they
if
won't be
they've
in fear
done
like
it,
you are.
exactly. So
Yeah.
their brain won't produce the same amounts of cortisol. They won't dummy down. They're just there for whatever it is that they're intending to do.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
true.
it's-
very
it-
true.
For us, it always starts here.
Yeah.
So getting information is a big step, huge step. Learning how to use that information is what these seminars are going to really focus on. Now, if you want to go further than that and learn how to use these along with that information,
Ask the instructors.
the instructors there will
Talk
be
to them.
more than happy to set something up for you, give you classes, become their student, whatever the case may be.
Our good friend Ron Esteller,
Oh, Ron, yeah.
he does a thing called SAFE.
Yes,
Right.
he did that for over 20 years.
Yeah, and he's a great example of a place to go to if you want to do that. You don't even have
Practical
to join. Yeah,
self-defense.
yeah, practical stuff, and it's amazing. And all the other people that we know have something very similar.
Yes.
Again, when you're going to that particular school, ask the instructor, what are you guys offering? What else can we do to supplement what you've just taught us? Even if you pay the course,
Yeah.
it's well worth it.
It really is. Here's the thing, folks, that and this is my personal opinion on the whole situation of our society, is that we get so caught up in our routines and we find safety in that routine. But you have to remember that criminals' routine is to harm others, to steal,
And that's where
even
they're
to
most
kill.
comfortable.
And that's where they're most comfortable is.
Right.
And that's a direct opposite to our comfortable way of life. So if we don't even perceive the ability that these people have, or even consider that they're out there, then we will never be safe from them, because we will always be blindsided. We will always come out of nowhere, and we will always be the random victim.
Right.
It has to be an understanding that violence exists. Violence is not always the answer, but sometimes it becomes the only answer.
Yes. Again, we got a lot of our information from a police department.
Yeah.
The one that you saw.
Yeah.
Thank you, Charlie, for getting that.
Oh, Charlie.
One of the things that the police department will always ask you for,
Description.
is description. Now, what are we looking for as far as description, right? How much of stuff can we actually remember?
When you're scared and So even before we start getting into that, I would definitely recommend, even if you don't come to one of these seminars or take any physical classes, go on YouTube. Look for some sort of breathing exercise. Something
I'll give you
I'll
give you a great example right now.
Yeah.
What is on Dion's shirt?
Oh yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah, it says Kamala and broken down as a noun, but what it says after that, I don't know.
What color is the shirt?
It is maroon.
Right. What kind of pants is she wearing?
Something like cheetah-y.
Cheetah.
It's some print. Oh no, sorry, totally wrong.
I don't know.
In my head, it looked like
Colors.
leopard print.
Now, I did that on purpose, knowing that you probably wouldn't be able to answer a lot of that. But what are we paying attention when somebody walks in a room?
Like what they look like, what they have on.
Right?
You know?
I mean,
yeah.
but a lot of times, because we know the people, we don't
Right.
bother with that.
No, we don't.
We don't bother with the real hard facts. So you're going to give descriptions that are like, well, he was about this tall, about this wide. I don't know if he had a mustache or not, but he looked maybe Spanish. I'm not sure. He's got to been about maybe 50 to 20 years old.
Right.
Yeah. This 30-year
That doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was between 5'2".
You're
and
describing
6'7".
everybody. You're describing everybody.
He might have had a tan. I don't know. No, but
He looked like Brad Pitt somewhat. Like what? Well, he had the dimples. So again,
we didn't rehearse this. He did this on the fly, and I feel kind of dumb now because it's true. We don't. I mean, in my head, I thought she was wearing leopard print. Some sort of, animal print. But then I look, I'm like, it's nowhere near that. It's nowhere near that. But your brain is always going to put together whatever it is on the spot, especially when you're in a stress situation.
Right.
You're just going to pull information wherever it's from, not necessarily what's in front of you.
Right.
What the cops actually look for, or what they hope you can bring them, your sex, the sex of the person would be pretty ideal. The hair, eyes, if they have glasses, tattoos, scars, things that not everyone would have. Complexion, a bit difficult. Race and age, kind of subjective depending on how well
but
you are.
if you can get close.
But as close as you can get, height, weight, hat, if they're wearing anything to cover their heads.
Right.
I did remember your beanie, so I knew you had like a knitted beanie. That one, I was like, I was sure about that one.
But he didn't say it.
But I didn't say it.
See?
You didn't ask me about it.
Well, but even still, right?
And that's the
these
point
are
of
the
this
things.
list, is these are the things that the cops are going to want to ask.
Yeah.
So if you ingrain these ideas into your head, then you know to look for pant color, shoes, coat,
how I messed
shirts,
them up. Yeah.
hat. You look at the weight and things. Look, folks, I don't care what your opinion is. We all judge automatically. Whether we like somebody or not, that's judgment. Whether you say that, no, I don't judge anyone, that's BS, in my
Naeem is fat in
opinion.
my eyes.
It makes me cry every once in a while because of it.
Yeah.
But things like that then become
He had girly hair.
had
Has. Look at that.
luxurious hair. So these are the things that cops are going to be looking for if you have to give these kind of reports. When it comes to vehicles,
Yeah, if they
license
jump in the
plate,
car.
the state, make and model, the year, if you can figure it out. And some people
And
are
the more
car
things
people.
you can say, the better.
The more you can say, the better. Anything that you can tell, broken headlight, it was half a bumper was missing, it had this black spot on this side.
Even a tear on the
A
jacket.
tear on the jacket. Just
Wow.
anything that's out of place. And again, this goes back to the process of awareness.
Yeah.
Is that when you create a habit of checking things have a checklist of, okay, this is what I'm aware of, this is what I'm aware of. Wait, this is odd, this stood out. Oh, that is a detail that I can tell somebody.
Right.
Everyone has a nose, eyes, mouth, ears. All of a sudden somebody has a scar across one of them. You're like, oh, that's noticeable.
Yeah.
That's memorable.
That can be big, definitely.
If it's
in
a
case.
goatee versus a full beard.
Goatee,
definitely.
beard.
Yeah.
I mean, but even, and if you don't know the difference, because for the longest time I had no idea what the difference between a goatee and some of the other hairstyles there are, but apparently there is. And if you could just draw it out, they also recommend, if you find yourself in a situation like that, as soon as you possibly can, start jotting down as much detail as you
And
possibly
folks,
can.
This is the most valuable piece of